Ok, clase, para este video vamos a hablar sobre affirmative and negative words. Here we go. So in Spanish, special words are used to talk about indefinite or negative situations. And what I mean by indefinite is the same thing as I mean up here by affirmative, so more positive. So the following words are used to talk about indefinite or affirmative situations. So make sure you copy all these down in your notes. You have algo, which means something or anything. Alguien, which means someone or anyone. Algún, alguno, or alguna for some or any. Siempre for always. También for also. And o for or. Okay, and the following words on this slide are used to talk about negative situations. So we have nada, which means nothing. Nadie, no one. Ningún, ninguno, or ninguna, none or not any. Nunca, for never. Tampoco, for neither or either. And ni for neither or nor. Okay? Now just a few notes that I wanted to mention to you. So first off, alguno or alguna and ninguno or ninguna have different forms depending on the kind of words which they are used. In other words, they take gender. They have to match. So alguno and ninguno must agree in gender with the noun they replace or accompany. Y'all are used to doing stuff like this. But when alguno and ninguno are followed by a masculine singular noun, you just drop the O basically and you say algún and ningún. So for example, let's make alguno and ninguno match with the following noun. So if we have the noun chico, how will we say some boy or none or not any boy? Since chico is a masculine singular, since chico is a masculine singular noun, how are we going to put alguno and ninguno in front of it? If you answered algún chico, you are correct, because this is a masculine singular noun, so we have to use algún. Same with ningún. Algún, ningún. Okay? Now, let's make alguno and ninguno match with this noun. Maestra. Again, it is not masculine singular. This time it is feminine singular. So how do you think we'll change this? Again, y'all are familiar with this, but alguna maestra, some teacher. Ninguna maestra, not any teacher. Okay. And then the last thing I want to talk about is double negatives. Dun, dun, dun. So in Spanish, we can use double negatives. Isn't that fun? So when the word no comes before the verb, the words that follow the verb must also be negative. So a double negative is required when no is placed before the verb. So for example, look at the first sentence, or the only sentence in Spanish. Yo no como nada para el almuerzo. I'm not eating anything for lunch, or I don't eat anything for lunch. Again, if you want to use no, like I'm not or I don't, and then we have a verb that follows it, you have to follow the verb with another negative. In other words, it's a little sandwich. Negative, verb, negative. Negative, verb, negative. Negative sandwich. So this literally translates to, I don't eat nothing for lunch. I don't eat nothing. But we say in English, I don't eat anything, or I'm not eating anything. So you can say it this way, but just note to self, it literally translates to, I don't eat nothing. Okay? Now, my last note would be, if a negative word like nunca or nadie precedes the verb, the double negative is not used. So this is when you don't use the double negative. So for example, yo nunca canto. I never sing. This doesn't require a double negative because we didn't have no right here. If we had no right here, we would need a negative word right here. But because this is nunca, doesn't require it. Nadie en la clase habla italiano. No one in class speaks Italian. Again, we don't need a double negative in this sentence because nadie came before the verb habla right here. So we don't need another negative. Okay? And really, that is it for ese video. So I know it's short. It's mostly just vocab. So just memorize what the affirmative and negative words are, and we'll practice with this later. Adios. Ciao.